Welcome to the Saturday Night Swirl with your host, Roadrunner89. Hope you enjoy. All right, how's everybody doing? Happy Saturday night. I hope everybody is doing well. Um, Tonight I got a topic I want to talk about. I want to talk about Simps are winning. And simp it up because we're going to win. But I'm going to go into what is a simp? What does that even mean? And people that call you that, is that a good thing or a bad thing? There are many definitions of simp. And I got my own definition of simp. My definition of simp is strong, intelligent men protect. Okay? Everybody's got their own definition. I'm going to create my own. Heck with it, right? Why not? Right? But we're going to dig in. What is a simp? And are simps winning? Uh, and depending on your definition, yes and no. Okay? I'm going to go into this. Okay? This is something I've been called ever since I've been on YouTube. The only place I heard that word simp, and I've been confused. What does it mean? And I think a lot of men think that if you have love for women, i.e., black women, if you show love, respect, you have an emotional connection, you open up your heart, you're just a simp. You're like a weak man that just, women control. And I'm going to debunk that. Okay? But I'm going to listen to people's definition, what they think that word means, because I think there's a broad definition of what that is. Okay? Um, I'm wearing my San Jose Sharks hockey jersey. I love this jersey. Got the shark, eating a hockey stick. I love hockey, right? And I'm on cloud nine in the hockey world, right? When USA beat Canada for the gold medal, oh my God. It was 46 years since America won the gold medal. from the time The Miracle on Ice, 1980. Me and my dad watched that, and we were happy. We were ecstatic. You know, we beat the mighty Soviet Union back in the day, and it meant something. You know, there was a sense of American pride, and you know, people were uplifted. And crazy thing is it came from a year from the Iran hostages they took in Iran in 1979, when the Ayatollah took over and created a bunch of havoc. And it was like a low point in our country, but that game sparked some national pride, and it was uplifting. Okay, amazing thing is when we won the gold right after the Ayatollah took over Iran, we win the gold in 2026, and we're taking it back. And and I don't mean we're taking over Iran. I want Iran to be a successful country. I want Iran to be an ally to America. I want them to, take back their country and have a democracy and live in peace and, and experience a little bit what America has, right? I pray with this Iran bombing going on. I don't want to see boots on the ground. I don't. I spent 3 tours in Iraq. I know what that can lead to, but we might have to do it. But in my opinion, we need to. I support it. If we can take out a nuclear weapon, the price we pay now, even though it's a high price, is less than what we will pay if a nuclear weapon lands in New York or Los Angeles, right? That's my opinion. You can think what you want. But, okay, let's get away from that right now. Okay, let me move up. I moved back so you can see my jersey. But tonight I want to talk about simping. I want to talk about simps. Okay? Simps are winning. Okay? And regardless of what your definition is, if it's the right one, yeah, simps are winning. If it's the other one, not so much. Okay? But we're going to dive into this. Okay? Because since I started this channel, I've got some dusty dudes come in and say, oh, you're simping for black women, you're a simp, okay, whatever. Okay? Call me what you want, okay? And the thing of it is I never was simping for black women. I was never trying to get anything out of black women. I was sharing my story of my interracial relationship, my interracial marriage, and the beauty and the treasure I found in black women. Okay? That's just love and respect. Okay? I never expected nothing out of that except maybe a few likes. like this live, please. Okay. Simping for some likes, yeah. No, but seriously, I never expected nothing out of this. I wanted a channel where I could talk to people that were in a situation like mine, living a life like mine, in an interracial relationship, interracial marriage. I wanted to connect with people like me. Okay? I've always loved black women. Okay? And I'm married to a black woman. Okay? Been married, 32 years, coming real soon. Okay? I've been blessed. And I wanted people to, see the blessing I have. And it's not to say, look at how good I'm doing. And no, it's not about that. It's about choosing right. It's about seeing the truth and seeing character in women and choosing the best option. Okay, for me, it turned out to be black women. Okay? Um, and I know some men get mad at me and because I uplift black women and tell me, well, my wife's this and that. And okay, well, that's your treasure. That's your wife. That's who you love. And I respect that. Okay? I'm telling you my story. And if you would have seen my life, you would understand why I love black women. You would understand why I have love and respect. Okay? All right? Black women have been a blessing to me. Okay? Some people call it simping. I call it love and respect. Okay? I'm not trying to get nothing out of this. In fact, I tell people don't donate to my channel. I made a promise between God, myself, and I made a promise to black women that I would, as long as I'm on YouTube and in my life, that I would never take nothing from black women. I will give to black women because black women have been a blessing to me. Okay? And that's just how I feel. I can't even do Patreon and charge $1. I'll feel guilty. Okay? That's where my heart is. Okay? Um, and my channel is, to me, I'm not looking to make money. There's been offers of advertisement and stuff like that, and ways you can earn money, and I don't even look at that. I turn that off. Okay. Um, and I think if I fall into that, my message would be tarnished. Okay, and the true love I have, people wouldn't see it. Okay. Now I love doing YouTube. I'm ecstatic. I'm in this all the way. I love it. Just connecting with people, whether it be on a live or chats, and people showing me love and my wife love, that's uplifting. I embrace that. That is a true treasure. And that's really what I want in YouTube, to connect with people like me. People that have had the courage to open up their options, regardless of what society might say, regardless of what family and friends might think, that we love black women so much that we will put the black woman first, right? The woman we love. All right? And I've talked a lot about this, okay? And you're going to hear some things tonight, and I'm going to express how I feel. It's going to get a little emotional, okay? And there's nothing wrong with a man showing emotion to the woman he loves. Like when I talk about Sandy, I get emotional. I love Sandy. That's my wife. She's my everything. Okay? And I love black women. Black women have been a blessing to me. Okay? So I do get a little emotional. That's okay. That's not a weakness. That's a strength. That's able to open up your heart and speak the truth. Okay? I should do advertising, need more. Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe that'd be a good thing. I just want to have a channel we can come to, and people that are, down with the swirl, divestment, people that want to take their swirl to investment, people that are truly in love, and put each other first. That's what I want to have here, and that's always been my goal. Now I know I talk crazy, and I drift and go into things. People say, "Roadrunner, where are you going? What are you talking about?" Maybe some of those things you shouldn't share, Roadrunner. Maybe you shouldn't tell people about your Christianity, your politics. You're a little too conservative. And black women, most of them are not like that. Actually, a lot of black women are conservative. They just vote Democrat. And that's okay. Look, I'm going to be honest to you who I am. Okay, I owe it to you to show you respect, to let you know who you're talking to. Okay, I'm going to be real. And even if it hurts me, and it has, I'm not going to lie. Uh, they say honesty is the best policy. I believe that, but it's a lot of times the most hurtful policy, right? Because anytime I lose a follower, anytime I lose somebody that's close to me, um, that hurts. Okay, I value friendship. I value, and people say I do this too much on YouTube because it's not real life and it just, But I want to make my YouTube channel as much real life as I can, okay? And I want to speak truth to you. I want you to know how I think. And if you don't believe like I do, that's fine. I don't care. Okay, I've never cast friends or family members out because they don't agree with me. Uh, you know, but my channel's about opening up your options and finding love, interracially, because I'm telling you, the black woman is the best option. And people will tell me, well, look at the marriage stats. Black women are the least married and this and that. Yeah, they're the most loyal too. And they're the least likely to date and marry out. Where, the men in their community are the most likely to date and marry out. So there's a reason why this is. And, I try to tell people, open up your options. Look for true love, character. And a lot of times that won't look like you. And that's okay. We're caught up in this thing that only people that look like us can love us. I found out that to be a total lie. In my life, anyway. I'm just saying, okay, not to put nobody down, but look. The most love I've ever been given is from black women. From a child growing up to a teenager to a man. And look, I have the receipts to back up what I'm saying. Okay? And people in my family, my friendship circle, they know who I am. And when they watch me on YouTube, it's not a surprise. Okay? They see me grow up and how much I've loved black women. I opened up my options right out the gate when I first started dating. Okay? And looking back, I'm like, wow, I've been blessed along the way. There's a couple black women that did me wrong along the way, sure. But there's good and bad in every group, right? But for the most part, black women have been a big blessing to me. And I want to tell that story, okay? And I'm going to say it with confidence. I'm going to say it and tell the truth, okay? Regardless of what people think about me, okay? I'm going to tell that truth. And I wish there were more white men out there that would express love for black women and talk about their interracial marriage. And I'm like, come on, white men, create a channel. Tell about your interracial marriage. Tell us your story. Okay? A lot of white men don't do that. They just find a black woman they love and live their best life. And not all of us should do that. I think it means a lot when I tell my story. I'm an everyday white guy. There's nothing special about me. But I found the love of my life, happened to be a black woman. And you know what? I've been blessed. And along the way, black women in my life, amazingly, are just like my wife. Is it God's will? I think it is. I think there's something spiritual going on. I think it's God's plan in my life. My plan is not your plan or anybody else's. Okay? You can find love in any ethnic group, any color, don't get me wrong, but for me, black women are the best option. Okay? Black women have been a blessing to me. And I'm not going to be silent and keep it to myself. Just like my Christianity, people say, you got to keep that to yourself. No. Okay? I love my God. And, you know, I have, you know, my beliefs. And, you know, I don't try to hide that. And in my faith, we're supposed to spread the word of God, right? So why would I be silent? And with my marriage, my life, my interracial marriage, and that's not something I should be silent on either, okay? You know, we're supposed to love each other. And we should choose people based on who loves us the most, where we're loved and celebrated. The best person for the job, okay? And that's what we should do. And, oh well, we might not look alike. It's okay. And we might look alike, right? You know, sometimes it goes one way or the other. Either way, you know, we should respect people's choices in life, who they choose to love and marry. Okay? But anyway, let's talk about the Simps are winning. Okay? All right. Let's talk. What is a simp? Tell me what is a simp. I got a definition that I created. Okay? It's strong, intelligent men protect. That's a simp. And people say, you can't say that, Roadrunner. That term has already been there. Well, I'm co-opting it and making it into what I want it to mean. Oh, well. Okay? But there's many definitions. Okay? I'm going to show a couple people what they say what simping is. Okay? And we all heard that word. What is it? Okay? And I given you my definition, but I'm going to talk about this, okay? And I think there's some confusion about the definition, okay? But anyway, this guy, he tells us what simping means. And tell me if I'm wrong, because that is a new term to me, right? People have called me a simp, okay? But I've thought, okay, they think a man that has love for women and shows some emotions and some respect, is that bad? No. And some people say that's simping. That's a simp. Is it? But then some people say, no, Roadrunner, you loving your wife is not simping. Okay. But anyway, let me show some videos. You tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen, and tell me if I'm wrong or not. Okay, this is a new term to me. Okay, and we're going to talk about it because apparently simps are winning. Simp it up and win. Okay, let's go.
Exist every relationship in life.
Okay, hold on. All right, this guy's going to explain to us what his definition of simp is. All right, let's hear it.
What does it really mean to be a simp? I got some tough news for you, bro. Unconditional love does not exist. Every relationship in life, platonic, romantic, doesn't matter, is a value exchange. I give you value, you give me value in return. There's always a...
Okay, let me stop there. Look, I agree with him so far, okay? Unconditional love, is it there? No, the only unconditional love is from our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's just loving you unconditionally. Okay? But with people, love is a give and take. I agree with that. If I show a woman love and I'm a young man, she's a young lady, and she don't give it to me back, well, we can't have a relationship, can we? Right, I'm just saying. Or if it's the other way around, you can't, right? Okay. I'm just trying to understand. All right, let's continue.
Reciprocation. So for you to be simping
You need reciprocation. I agree with that. Okay.
to a girl, that means you're giving her all this value, all these resources, all this time and energy into her, and you're getting nothing in return. And when you know you're getting nothing, you keep giving even though she's not reciprocating. That is simping. The only
Okay. Is that what simping is? When you show a woman love, you shower her with love, maybe you give her some gifts, you spend a little money on her, and maybe she's not really all into you, but you think maybe there's a chance. I'll just keep pouring love into her and I'm gonna win her over, right? But it don't happen. Is that simping? Okay. Now if that is, I think we're all a victim of simping, whether it be men or women. Because I've been in a situation where when I was younger, I showed love to a woman and hopefully she would love me back, and it just, she wasn't really into me, and I just kept trying for a little while, and I just didn't get the love back. And me keep trying, is that simping? Okay, well, maybe that's what it is. And look, it, at a certain point in time, if you're not getting the love back, you gotta just break contact and move on. Okay, and if that's simply don't. And I've learned through my life when I was dating that you either got a connection or you don't. Okay, and this goes both ways with men and women. Okay, us guys, we tried for that woman that wouldn't show us the same love, and sooner or later we just figured out it ain't gonna work, right? But if you keep trying, is that simping? Is that what it is? Well, if that's what it is, yeah, try not to do that. I would say don't do that. But I've seen women pour into love in a man and just give all she's got, and he's halfway into her, but he's not really into her. I think us as human beings have been in that situation, right? And it don't feel good. It's not a good thing, right? It'll break your heart because you poured love in that person, and they didn't give it back. But common sense would tell you, okay, I'm doing all this for you, and you're really not into me. You ignore me. You don't return my calls or whatever. Yeah, it's time to break ties. Okay. And is that what simping is? Okay. Well, let's continue. Look, guys. I'm learning this simping thing. Okay. All right. Let's
The only
continue.
leverage a girl could ever have over you is you not respecting yourself as a man, not knowing your value. Why keep giving to somebody that's never giving back? People misinterpret what being a simp even means. Caring for a girl and actually being affectionate does not make you a simp.
Okay. Good. Being loving and affectionate to a woman don't make you a simp. Well, good. I guess me being showing affection to my wife, love to my wife, that don't make me a simp, right? Okay, and all right, I can see if his definition of what a simp is, I say don't be a simp. You can't win being a simp, according to his definition. Okay, there are different definitions of a simp. Okay, in his definition, you're not going to win. Okay, but a man that shows love and respect for the woman that he's with are showing love towards women. I don't think that's simping. I mean, maybe you get love back or you don't. The thing of it is figuring out if you have a connection or not. But, well, let's continue.
even though some weirdos on the internet will have you thinking otherwise. If you're the only one giving value, and she's never giving value.
Okay, he talks about weirdos on the internet. Okay, and this is what I'm getting at, that men that show love and respect towards women, and some men will show some humility. Like I do a lot. I'll say, well, my wife is amazing. She's awesome. I love my wife, Sandy. And she's a blessing from God, and I don't even deserve to have her in my life. But I'm grateful to God that I have my wife, Sandy. Now, people say, man, that's hard simping. And you don't value yourself as a man. No, I do value myself as a man. But, having value as a man, you have to have accountability. You got to have some humility. And you got to understand the blessing you have. And look, my wife has been an amazing blessing to me in my life. Okay? And don't get offended if I talk about my life, my wife. Look, I'm just talking about the blessing I have. Okay? And some people think men that show love and respect to women and emotions are somehow weak. You're not weak. You're just being human. Okay? The trick is to pour into a woman you love that loves you back. Okay? And this can go both ways. Can we call women simps that pour in the men that, do them wrong? Pour in the men that aren't faithful? Would we call women simps? I guess according to this definition, we could call women that too, right? But anyway, all right. But I'm going to get into different definitions, but let's continue.
You keep coming back to that, that's simping, bro. Don't be that guy. But what do you think, man? Leave your thoughts down below.
Okay, what do you guys think? Is what he said true? Is simping something that you show? Okay, they refer to men as simps. I never seen people refer to women as simps. But I can see it going both ways. But ladies, tell me, if a man shows love to a woman and she don't return that love, it ain't reciprocated, maybe he might spend money on her, he might wine and dine her and express his love for her, and maybe she's not into it. And he's not getting nothing back from her, but he keeps trying, right? Because he wants to have a relationship. Is that simping? Guys, tell me, is that what that is? Is that the definition? Okay? I've heard that as a definition. Now, simping is a new term to me. Okay? But I've seen people use that term. I've seen people call me that. And I'm like, okay, I show love and respect. I have some emotions. Is that wrong? Is that weakness? Is that simping? Or is it just when you're hoping to get something out of it? Anyway, okay, I'm just trying to understand the definition. Okay. Now, that was a white guy. I think white. He could have been Hispanic. I don't know. Maybe Italian. But non-black man on his definition of simping. Okay. We're going to show a black woman's definition. And it's going to be a little bit different than the man's. Okay, let's hear this.
The word simp, I ain't no.
Okay, this is okay. This young lady, she likes men and women both, I believe. Okay, but she's going to give a definition on simping. Okay.
The word simp, I ain't no simp. That come from the pimp game. Simp mean a sucker impersonating a Mac or a pimp.
Okay, so that comes from the pimp game. It means a sucker impersonating a Mac or a pimp. She's got her own definition, right? I say simp means strong, intelligent men protect. I like that one, right? Strong, intelligent men protect. She thinks her definition is suckers impersonating a Mac or a pimp. Oh, okay. Hey, I'm going to get my definition in there too. Why not? All right, let's hear more.
So when a dude, when a
I never knew that. You just put us on some shit.
yeah, sucker impersonating a Mac or a pimp, right? So simp come from the pimp world. So any dude that's using this terminology that I ain't no simp, what you're trying to do is emulate the behavior of a pimp by trying to extract as much value out of a woman for as little investment as possible.
Okay. What do you think about her definition of simp? What do you think about that? Impersonating a Mac or a pimp? It comes from the pimp game, right? And I was thinking that's what it was. The opposite of pimp is simp, right? A pimp exploits women for his personal gain, right? That's not a good thing. So would the opposite mean loving and uplifting women? That's what I was thinking it was. And I was thinking a simp is somebody that shows love and respect to women, and the pimp exploits the woman, right? And the pimp, the one that exploits women, will look down on a man that truly loves a woman as having a weakness, i.e. simp. I've been told that definition too. Okay, but her definition was, it was kind of different. Like, it just comes from the pimp game. Well, if you're not a pimp or in the pimp game, does the simp even apply to you as a man? I know, but interesting, right? Okay. Now, let me see.
Sweet man who speaks kindly.
Okay. Now, this young lady's going to tell her definition of a simp. And it's going to be, yeah, I agree with you, Jennifer. Yeah, if a woman is not into that man that's showering her, he needs to leave her alone and move on. Definitely. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I'm not out for just showering women with gifts and love if she's not interested. Love is a two-way street, right? And when you have true love, it's give and take. Okay? Whether you're boyfriend or girlfriend in a marriage, it's definitely give and take. Okay? And if a woman's not showing you that love you're giving her, move on. And ladies, if you're with a man that you're giving him your heart and your love, you need to break contact and move on. Okay? That is true. Thanks, Jennifer. I totally agree with that. Okay? But this woman talks about a simp and what she thinks of a simp. Okay? And let's hear what this young lady has to say.
The sweet man who speaks kindly to me, who's very gentle with me, who enjoys making me happy, seeing me smile makes him smile, who's very intentional, who likes date nights, who likes to buy me things just because he thought of me and said, you know what, I think she would like this. I want him. And I don't know why y'all try to put a label on this type of man, a man that actually loves women. I don't know why y'all labeled it as a simp, but I don't give a damn what y'all call him. Simp, pimp, walk with a limp. I want him. Okay, so I don't know where this title of simp came from, trying to make other men feel lesser than for liking women and treating them right, specifically their girlfriend or their wife. They're treating the woman in their life like the queen that she should be to them. He's a simp. Well, guess what? I want every simp in my DMs today.
Okay. Okay, and is that what a simp is? Okay, and look, I think this definition was created, and I think it's kind of evolved into many different things. Okay? And look, there's no weakness in showing women love. Look, and if you have a girlfriend that you got a special relationship and you enjoy each other's company and you have love there, and you want to do nice things for her and make her, feel special, let her know she's loved, buy her some gifts and uplift her, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? And in a marriage, look, with my wife, from the time we were dating and we, decided to be exclusively together, boyfriend and girlfriend, and I proposed to her and she said yes. Once we got to that point, I showered my wife with gifts. I would do stuff for her to make her happy, show love to her. Now, I wasn't breaking the bank where I was broke giving her everything. No, but I would do nice things for her. I would, sometimes I would, people say I'm going overboard, but I love my wife. And, and now that me and my wife are married, I spoil my wife. I give my wife gifts. I do nice things for my wife. I spend a lot of money on my wife. Okay, and it's not because I feel I have to. It's because I love my wife. I want her to feel happy. And my wife's amazing. And whether I give her anything or not, she's going to love me the same. But because I love her, I like doing stuff for her. I want her to feel special. I want my wife to feel like a queen. Okay, I want her to feel like she's the most beautiful woman on earth. And, my wife's happiness is my mission in life. Okay? I love my wife with all my heart. My wife is a blessing from God. Okay? And, and my wife, she knows I'll do anything for her. And it's hard for me to get out of her what she really wants. Because she don't want me to spend too much money. And, she don't want it to be stressful. And my wife's always been that way because she loves me. She's not looking for material things I do for her. But I will do that stuff for her because I love her. And even now that we're older and we got a lot more money we ever had in our life, and I can do a lot more stuff for my wife, she's still, humbled, and she just wants me to love her. That my wife is amazing and beautiful. But I'll do things for her. Look, and there's nothing wrong with spending money for your girlfriend, your wife. If you love each other, that's not simping, not at all. Some people say I'm a simp because I talk like my wife walks on water. People say, you put your wife on a pedestal, you praise her. Man, you're simping hard for your wife. What? That's my wife. But people have told me that. I'm not doing this with some random chick I'm trying to date, right? I would not do that. But my wife is my love, my everything. And look, my wife has been such a blessing to me. And because of her love and support for me, I was able to self correct. I was able to improve myself because of my wife having my back. And because of that, I was able to improve my education and open up doors of opportunity in my life to where I have more wealth and I can, and when I do better financially, my wife does better. Okay? And that's how I am. Sometimes I do a lot for my wife that I couldn't do back when we were young. Okay? I remember those days we struggled. My wife always had my back. But now I can do for her, and I do. But, am I simping? If that's simping, count me in. Give me a cape and a big S, and I'm going to simp for my wife. Okay? I'm going to give my wife everything. She already gave me everything. Okay? But anyway, what do you guys think? I mean, what does simp mean to you? Okay? Let me show you another video of a black woman that's saying she wants a simp. I'm going to show you two videos. One I agree with, one I do not. I'm going to show you the positive one first. Okay, let's go.
We want a man that gonna come home.
All right, women like simps. Let's hear this.
I'm sorry to tell you, but women like simps. We really do. We want a man that gonna come home every night that he say he gonna come home on time. And if he late, he gonna call and say, hey, baby, I'm gonna be 10 minutes late. We want the simple men, the simps that go to work every day, that pay bills, make sure that their kids is taken care of, their family is taken care of, their woman is happy, roof over their head, food in the refrigerator, clothes on their back. We want a man that don't play about us and will mess up another jigger for his family. The one that don't mind laying hands on somebody else for doing something off about their family. Them the ones we want. We want a simp. So y'all keep trying to make it seem like these simp men ain't nothing. Women want them. A real woman wants a simple man who don't have no drama, ain't got nothing going on. I'm talking about a real woman, not no hood rat like Sexy Red that y'all like them Sexy Red chicks. I'm talking about a wholesome woman. Don't want any of that nonsense. We want the simple ones that we at home. What y'all doing? We at home. Y'all going out? Probably not. I'm just gonna chill. That's who we like. The men is keeping y'all single. I'm telling you because I know what I know.
I like this. You know what? If I was a young man and I was looking for someone to date, to marry, and a woman told me this, that she wants this in a man, I'm like, okay, that's reasonable. That's us as traditional men have been raised to do this. Okay, you love your wife. You know who you're in a relationship. You give them the respect. If you're coming home late, why not call and say, hey, babe, I'm running late. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? And you're willing to protect the woman you're with. If it comes to laying hands on somebody to protect your wife and your significant other, hey, that's something we should do as men, right? And she's saying that's what women want. They want simps, simple men. Okay? And I think this is where it gets lost, because there are men saying, I ain't no simp, I ain't gonna have no woman control me. Well, showing a woman love and respect ain't her controlling you. That's you showing love and respect. Now, sometimes we might give our love and respect and do things for women that aren't interested in us. Okay, that's life. But when we find the right woman and we do this, that's not simping. That's showing love and respect. Okay? Um, and she wants a simple guy that goes to work, gets a paycheck, calls her, lets her know what's wrong with that. I call my wife if I'm coming home late from work, not because I have to. She don't tell me you better call me if you. No, I just do it out of respect. And sometimes I call my wife at work to say, hey, I love you. You doing okay? How's everything going? Just, sometimes you call me and say, you doing okay? Everything all right at work? I miss you. What do you want to eat for dinner? What's, any plans? This is, okay. And as a simple man that works hard, shows love for the woman he's with, is that a simp? Is that a bad thing? Because she's saying that's what she wants, and she's going to give that man love that gives her what she wants. And love is a two-way street. It's a give and take. You're in a loving relationship. It's give and take. You're in a marriage. It has to be a give and take, because you're spending the rest of your life together. Okay. Now I do a lot of things for my wife, Sandy. I love my wife. She does a lot of stuff for me. Okay, we give each other love back and forth. And that's why we've been able to last as many years as we have. Soon will be 32 years. Have kids, grandkids. Before you know it, we'll have great grandkids. That's what love is about. Okay, and if you're a man and you're with a woman that loves you, pour into her. Don't be afraid to spend a little money on her. Don't be afraid to show her love, and get a little emotional and tell her how much you love her. Don't be afraid of that. That's not a weakness. That's a strength. Okay, we're human beings, and when it comes to love, love is a big emotion. And when you have true love, you're going to connect emotionally, and then you're going to connect spiritually. And as your love grows, when you got true love, it only gets better. Okay? I'm just saying, but this is an awesome video. I agree with this young lady, okay? And look, and ladies, it's not a weakness if a man shows you love. If he's into you and thinks you're all that, it's not a sign of weakness. He sees your beauty. He sees your value. Now, if you're not into him, let him know you're not into him. But if you are, you can be in an awesome relationship. And I think the simp thing, people think because a man shows love, respect, gets a little emotional, maybe a little clingy to his wife or girlfriend. Look, I'm clingy to my wife. I hug my wife and embrace her all the time. Because I love her. And I never was a touchy-feely guy until I got married. And, I love my wife. When I sleep, I have my arm around my wife. And she clings to me too. A lot of times when I come home from work, I'll get in the shower, get cleaned up. We'll go to our couch. We got a sectional couch where we lay down, and we got a big blanket, and we'll wrap up in that blanket together. And this blanket I've had since 2006, when I did a tour in Korea for a year, and I bought this big mink blanket, right? And that blanket is warm. And me and my wife in the winter, we snuggle in this blanket and we watch TV, and it's meaningful. We're connecting emotionally, showing love. And we're both people of faith, and spiritually we connect. We pray together. Um, that's what it's all about. But some people, because I have emotions when it comes to my wife, when it comes to black women, and black women in my past have been a blessing, and there's some things I'm sensitive in. People think that's a weakness. No, it's not. It's just where my heart is, where my love is, and out of love and respect, you're going to have these emotions. Okay? When you experience true love, you're going to be an emotional wreck, guys. Don't think you're going to be that tough guy. I'm the man, you do what I say. It don't work that way. I ain't no simp. You do what I say. No, it don't work that way. But anyways, people think that. And a lot of the younger generation think because you get a little emotional with the woman you love, somehow it's a weakness and you're simping. Okay? What this guy was saying before, simping is you're giving a woman love that ain't into you and she's rejecting you, but you keep still trying. I would not recommend anybody do that. Man or woman, if the person you're showing love, they don't give it back, leave them alone. Okay? They're either into you or they're not. That's life. Okay, we all been there. And let's be honest, guys. Don't try to play innocent whether you're a man or woman. There are people you have had love for and you tried to connect and it didn't work. But there have been people that loved you and you weren't into them and you kind of brushed them off, right? But they kept trying to get with you, right? This thing goes both ways. And if you're not into somebody that loves you, you let them know you're not into them. Don't force them to waste their time trying to connect with you, hoping that there's some last-ditch effort that if they do something just right, they can connect with you. Whether you're a man or woman, don't do that to people. It's cruel. It's abusive. It really is. It's a form of abuse. If someone loves you and you're not into them, you let them know you're not into them. And I think the best way is to just tell them straight up. It will hurt their feelings, but they can move on and go find someone that loves them. Because when you're in that situation and when you're being played, the best thing can happen to you that you're rejected and you can move on to somebody that loves you. We all been a part of this, both sides of the coin, whether you're a man or woman. Okay? Don't do people wrong. Okay? Because you don't like it when you're the victim. Now, when that person's loving on you and you might not be into them and it'll boost your ego like, oh yeah, don't play them. Okay? I'm just saying. Now, there's somebody for everybody. I always say that, right? There's somebody that will love you. Okay? Yes, in the interracial world too. There's somebody for everybody in every racial group. If you're a white man into black women, there's a black woman that will love you, that will be everything to you. Okay, if you're a black woman and you like Asian guys, there's that Asian guy that will love you with all his heart. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa in every direction. We just got to go about it the right way. Okay? All right, now let's hear. We heard that woman say she loves simps, right? Okay, a simple guy that works hard. Okay. If that's the definition, I guess I'm a simp because I work hard. I call my wife, let her know if I'm going to be late, and I'm clingy to her. I guess I'm a simp. Okay. If that's the definition, I embrace that. Now, this young lady wants a simp too. Let's hear what she has to say.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but I like.
Okay.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but I like simps and simps only, okay? You have to literally worship women for me to like you. You have to literally open your wallet for me to like you. You have to literally spend money for me to like you. That is all.
Okay, what do you think about that? She wants a simp too, but you gotta worship her and you gotta open up your wallet. Or else she ain't going to deal with you. I'm like, okay. First of all, if I was a single young man and this woman said, I don't care if I was a billionaire, I would cut her off. I wouldn't have nothing to do with her. Okay, first of all, we don't worship people. Okay? I'm a Christian. I worship God, my Lord Jesus Christ. That's it. I do not worship people, okay? That is wrong. You don't worship people. I have you know my wife Sandy. I love her with all my heart. I would lay down my life for my wife Sandy. But I don't worship her because she's a human being like me. Okay, human beings are flawed. That's number one. Okay, we don't worship people. All right, people aren't worthy of worship. Now, to be with her, if I got to empty out my wallet, no. Okay? She's telling you she's not looking for a good man. She's looking for a good man's money. Okay? And I'm not against women saying they want a man that's successful and makes good money because she wants the man to be able to provide for her and the children. That's okay. I'm not against a woman looking for a successful man that's hardworking, that can provide a paycheck, that can provide resources. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, but when you say you got to open up your wallet to even deal with you, well, goodbye. Because how you look physical, what you just said makes you extremely ugly and disgusting. Okay? But anyway, what do you think? Is she right for that? Is this how women should be? Get men, to worship them and give them money? I don't know. How she said it, I just don't think her heart's into having a loving relationship. I think her heart is in money and wealth. And she wants to be worshipped. Sorry, we don't worship people. Okay, that's my opinion. Tell me what you think. Is she okay to feel that way? I guess she has a choice, but she's never going to have a good relationship because if her heart's all in money and being worshipped, you'll never be fulfilled. No matter how much money that man has, no matter how much money he gives you, no matter how much he worships you, your heart will be empty because you will not experience true love. Sounds like it's all about her. But that's just my opinion. Okay, here's two other women talking about simping.
A man who likes women. So if a man is calling you a simp, that means he does not like women and he's accusing you of liking women. So, are you a simp?
Okay, so she's saying a man that accuses you of being a simp because you like women. Are you a simp? All right, let's play that again. Hold on.
A simp is a man who likes women. So if a man is calling you a simp, that means he does not like women and he's accusing you of liking women. So,
okay.
Are you a simp?
Okay, so what she's saying is a man that calls you a simp is a man that don't like women. And he's calling you a simp because you like women. Is that what a simp is? Now, if a simp is a man that likes women, well, that's what I am. That's what I've always been. When I started dating, I love women. I've been attracted to women. Does that mean I'm a simp? And if a man calls me a simp, does that mean he don't like women? And he's trying to throw shade at me because I like women? Is that what it is? You know what? I think there's some truth to that. I'm not going to say it's totally truthful, but I think some men that call other men simps don't like women. I think there are some men like that. And maybe they're into men and get offended when men show love towards women. I think there is some truth to that. Not all, of course. Some men will call you simps because they think if you show affection to women, you're a simp. That ain't what a simp is. Not in my definition. Okay? Now, let's hear this woman, what a simp is.
Whisper said, the men.
All right, simp men are usually only straight men. So, okay. So, simp men are usually the straight ones. Okay, well, I'm a straight man. I guess I'm a simp. Okay.
So the DL Whisper said, the men that they call simps are usually the straight men. And that is so true. These straight men that truly love women, they're the ones showing up, being present, not afraid to say, I cherish her, I want to be with her, I want to see her win, I want to spoil her, I want to protect her, and love her loud. That's not weak, that's strength. And you have some men, especially the ones on the down low, I'm not doing for a bitch. I'm not doing all of that. That's simping. That's, y'all doing too much for women. If you're not doing it for women, son, who are you doing it for? Another man? Because it doesn't make sense. Why are y'all so bothered by actually doing the role of a man for a woman? These men will listen to you talk, notice when your energy is off, rub your back, send you flowers, cook for you. Don't need to be begged to act right. And most importantly, they genuinely like women. They're not simps. They're just emotionally secure, straight men. The men that brag about not doing nothing for a woman either hate women or don't like women at all. Talking about I ain't buying her shit. You can't get $1 out of me. Y'all doing all that for pussy? Let's be honest. Some of them don't even like women like that. Are deeply insecure and hide it behind that super masculine nonsense. Are low-key gay and resent women for the fact they can't be true about their own desires. Like, that's not our problem, baby. That's yours. It's giving repressed, angry, and scared of intimacy. Like, if the idea of loving a woman out loud disgusts you, then sweetie, you are not a straight man. You're struggling with your own identity or projecting hate from a wound you won't face. Anti-simp men be obsessing over other men, not women. Have you ever heard about these type of men talk about other men? It sounds like they be in love. They dress for male validation, quote alpha male podcasts all day, try to be hard 24/7, want to impress their homeboys rather than impress the woman that they are sleeping with. Because the truth is, real straight men, they don't mind nurturing a woman. They don't need to flex by denying love. They're not moved by fragile egos. And let them keep using simp like it's an insult. Because it really just means he's emotional available. He knows how to love with effort. He values a woman's softness, not just her sex. He will be the one her kids call dad one day. He's not afraid to be a protector and a provider. So yeah, call the real straight men simps. And we love them for it. The ones that's yelling, I ain't doing nothing for no bitch. Be the ones that secretly watching other men glow up while they stuck in fucking poverty. That'd be the funny part. Call him a simp. I'll call him mine. Because the same men that y'all mock are the same men that women pray for.
Wow, I think she hit the nail on the head. And here's the thing. Okay? There is nothing wrong with showing love and affection to women. Okay? And I think there's a misconception. If you show love and respect for a woman, you get a little emotional, you're weak. No, you're not. Okay? As human beings, men and women were supposed to connect with love, with emotion. Okay? And love is an emotion. How can you connect with a woman if you don't love her? Okay? And here's the thing. I think what's happening is a lot of women just want a man to be a man. To show her love and respect, love her, be a protector, a provider. I think that's just what women want. And I think a lot of black women want that. They want that so-called simp. Okay? And a lot of times, men that show love and respect for women are called simps, especially black women. Because I see white men showing love and affection to white women or Asian, Hispanic. I see white men doing that. They're never called a simp for that. It's just like that's what you do. You love the woman in your life. You uplift her. You take care of her. You provide for her. Yeah, and sometimes you'll buy a few gifts for her to make her feel special and let her know that she's valued and beautiful. That's what we're supposed to do as men. And look, and that type of simp is winning. Okay? The man that shows love and respect towards women, the man that loves women and tries and lets women know that he loves them and is into them, that's the man that's going to win. Okay? The man that's a hard ass and just treats women like garbage, that's the one that's going to hit the wall. Now, he might impress a few women along the way, get his body count up, but at the end of the day, he's going to hit the wall. At the end of the day, he's not going to have a stable family. At the end of the day, he's going to die alone. And his children are going to be upset with him, angry, because he wasn't in their life. I'm just saying, us as men, we need to show more love, more respect towards women. Okay? Now, if she ain't into you, cut ties and move on. Okay? I'm not saying just the first woman you meet, first date, shower with gifts and... No, come on, common sense. Most men ain't doing that crap, okay? Oh, the definition of simp is... Now, there are wealthy men that will flash their money to impress a woman, but that's foolish too, because do you want her to love you because of your wealth or love you because of you? Okay? But, successful relationships and dating or marriage is a man that shows love and respect. Believe it or not, guys, women love men that have emotions, that show love. Women love men that, will embrace them and be a little clingy at times. Women love that. Women love a man to say how beautiful she is, and women love it when you express your love for them. Okay? That should not be a problem. Especially if you're in a marriage. If you can't have an emotional connection with your wife, you're headed for trouble. Trouble. Okay? I'm just saying. Are simps winning? Well, let me say this. It depends on the definition of the simp. The guy that just spends money on a woman that don't like him, even though he gets rejected over and over, he's not going to win. I get that. But a man that's in a relationship with a woman, in a loving marriage that just shows her love and uplifts her and gives her some praise here and there and tells her how beautiful and amazing she is, that man's going to win. Okay? And the woman's going to give that love back. It's going to be reciprocated. Okay? So that simp will win. Strong, intelligent men protect. Simp. Strong, intelligent men protect. You guys got it? That's what simp means. Roadrunner has changed the definition. I've co-opted it. It's mine now. If you don't like it, tough shit. Okay? Simp, strong, intelligent men protect. Okay? So guys, simps are winning. So put on your simp cape. Okay? Be strong, intelligent, Okay? Be a man and protect. Okay? But find that woman that loves you. Don't just give a woman that's not into you everything. That's silly anyway. Okay. Now, I pretty much covered simping and people's definition. What I think a simp is, okay? And you've heard different definitions, okay? Now, my definition, you know what simp is a strong, intelligent man that protects. Okay, that's not a weakness, that's a strength. That's what builds strong communities. That's what builds strong towns. Okay, that's what builds strong states, builds a strong nation. See, our problem in society, you know what it is? It's us men. It's us men not doing right. It's us men not loving the women in our lives. Okay? God created men and women. Okay? And if you're blessed to have a woman in your life that loves you, and you do not love and protect her, you just threw away your blessing. Women are not here to uplift our egos, men. Women ain't here to pleasure us and uplift us. And okay, women are here to be in our life. God's plan is a family, a man, a woman, and children, right? Both the man and woman are very important. Okay, one is not better than the other. We got our roles, right? I've said many times that men, we're the provider, the protector, right? And us as men, we're expendable. Okay? I stand by that. Now, does that mean we're less value? No. We're an important part of the family. But as a protector of the family is more important than you. Okay? And if you truly loved your wife and family, they're much more important than you are. And you would lay down your life for your wife, your family. That is valuable. And ladies, if you have a man that has that much love for you, you found a blessing. Okay? Because not all men are that strong. Okay, there are men out there can't even marry the woman they lay down with. They're weak men. A lot of men aren't married because they're weak. And I don't want to stir up some people are going to get, oh, Roadrunner, we might not want to get married. Well, that's your choice. People say, well, Paul in the Bible didn't get married because he wanted to serve God and give his heart to God. That's great. Wonderful. Are you not married because you're serving God, putting out the gospel, and only living for God and being celibate? No, you're not. You're having sexual relationships with multiple women. Okay? And you do not have the courage or the love to marry that woman you lay down with. In fact, you're exploiting that woman. You're getting all your desires and needs out of her, but you cannot make her your wife. And I'm going to say this, and I stand 10 toes down. If you're like that, you're disgusting. Okay? I'm just saying. Hate me for it, or I don't care. Okay? Because here's the thing. I believe we need to go the old ways. If a woman ain't your wife, you don't touch her. Now, I know I'm radical. I know I am. I know I'm a lunatic, right? I believe you shouldn't have sex before marriage. Oh my God, Roadrunner's crazy. Okay. But if we live by that, we'd have more marriages, would we not? We'd value the women that's in our life, the women we're married to, we'd value them a lot more. And I believe we'd be less likely to step out of our marriage vows and cheat if we did it that way. That's just my opinion. I believe that. You know, if you truly love the woman you're with, you'll marry her. Look, I love my wife Sandy. Look, after dating her for 2 months, I asked her to marry me. There was no confusion. I knew I want her to be my wife. And I told her, I said, look, you have my heart. If you give me your heart, I'll give you forever. And you know what she said to me? She said, yeah, you got my heart. I'll take forever now. I'll take it. You better live up to your promise. I want forever. Too easy. But me and my wife wanted marriage. Okay, I proposed to her 2 months. After dating her 2 months, that's it. Pretty fast, right? Well, she said yes. So we're both fast, right? But you know what? In our life, we both knew what we wanted. In that 2 months I dated my wife, I knew everybody in her family. I spent so much time with my wife, it wasn't funny. And I was working 3 jobs, and I made time to be with Sandy. Hey, I was half asleep at times. I'd go visit her, and she lived across town. I'd come visit her falling asleep. But I made time because I love her. You know? I guess I was simping. I was simping hard. Hard simper, man. I had that super S, simping, simp. But I won because I simped for the win. Simps are winning. Call me a simp. Do you have a 32-year marriage? Are all your kids college educated? Guess what? I have that because I invested in a black woman. I married a woman that uplifted me, that loved me more than anybody ever. And because she loved me, I did what I needed to do to self-correct. And I was able to be successful later on and give my wife, you know, I was able to provide for my wife and give my wife, well, more now than I ever have. You know what's a blessing? I look back and when I went in the Army, my reading was horrible. My education sucked. I went to a public school in a not so good neighborhood that nobody gave a shit. And my dad was disciplined, but he had faith in the public school system to give me an education. He felt if I graduate high school, I could get a job and be successful, like my father was. He only had a high school education. But the world changes, right? I graduated high school. But when I got in the Army and the opportunities were so limited, that education was biting me in the butt. And it was embarrassing. When I would have to read and I would struggle. You know how embarrassing that was? You know how bad I felt? And I knew I needed to do better. Because I think at that time I was starting to mature. And, you know, there was a black woman that had a positive impact on my education. Really got me thinking. And then my wife, Sandy, really educated, right? And I told her, I said, you know what? I need to fix this. And we fixed it. I had to go. I paid for tutors. My wife would read with me. Look, talking about humbling, right? But sometimes you need to have your face in the mud. And you need to see the truth about yourself. You have to have humility. And I'm telling you, my wife stood behind me, and within a few years, I was, my reading level went up. I could actually read books and enjoy it. It was like a new world opened up to me. I was starting to love reading books. Me and my wife would go to a bookstore and buy old books to just read. We didn't have that much money then, but it was like a new world. And, and the thing of it is then I started taking college classes. I never thought that would ever happen. I was never smart enough to do that, but it was happening. I had confidence in myself. There was improvement. I felt good about it. I didn't have a big head, but it felt pretty good, and my wife had my back, had faith in me. And within the Army, my opportunities improved. And you know what? Later on, when we bought our house, I was able to tell my wife, I said, this is the money we got. Go find us a home. And it felt good to provide that to my wife, provide her a home. And I didn't care what house she picked out. If she's happy with it, I'm happy with it. And I remember sitting there, watching her pick out the carpet and the tiles, and she was happy, excited. I didn't even know what the house looked like. I was focused on my wife. And I was happy. I was emotional because she was happy. What she did for me, I was able to give something back. That was a blessing. And that's what love is about. In a marriage, you give and you take. It reciprocates, right? And a lot of times, and especially with black women, I see this so much. I think black women are that hidden treasure. Black women are beautiful and amazing. And so many times they're taken for granted, taken advantage of. And they don't really see the blessing. And let me tell you something. The reason a lot of times interracial relationships work better than same race relationships with white men and black women, you know why they're successful? Let me tell you something. Okay? Us as white men, okay? A lot of us believe this. We think that black women aren't really into us, okay? But there are those of us that just love black women. We see the beauty in them. We see the amazing things black women do. We see how they're loyal, and we want that really bad. We do. Don't kid yourself. We see that. And we don't expect to get it. So and this was my mindset when I opened up my options. I love black women, and I just knew if I prayed about it, had faith, I would find that one black woman that loves me. God will provide, okay? And people say, well, why are you focused on race, Roadrunner? Why are we? Well, because black women are the women that showed me love as a child and growing up. But I'm not going to get all into that. But this is where it came from. And in my mind, I knew there's one black woman out there. I just prayed about it. And I had faith in that. And here's the thing. When I'd approach a black woman, okay, I had to get my courage up. Once I did, when I was rejected, it was expected. When I was accepted, I embraced it. I appreciated it. And I still cling to the times that black women have shown me love in my life. I cling to it. I embrace it. Why? Because I didn't expect it. And when you get love from somebody that you think isn't really into you, you embrace it. And guess what? When a black woman showed me love, I didn't take it for granted. When Sandy said yes to my marriage, I embraced it. I never took her love for granted because I knew the blessing I had. But here's the thing. If you're in the same racial group and you're dating and black women show you love all the time as a man, well, you probably take it for granted because that's just how it is. But as a white man, look, when we don't expect it, and we receive it, we embrace it. And I think a lot of times black women are the same way. They don't think that non-black men are really into them, but when they get love back and they're into that man, they embrace it. And they don't take it for granted. And by the way, black women, white men, we are the workhorses in our community. We are the backbone. Don't get it twisted. So when we come together, it tends to work. We tend to appreciate each other. A lot of times, black women and white men appreciate each other. And a lot of times, they don't expect to receive love like that. And when we do, we embrace it. Tell me I'm wrong. Those of you that are in interracial relationships, tell me I'm wrong. Interracial marriage, you've been married a long time? Tell me you don't feel that. You didn't feel that. I'm telling you, I did. And look, I love black women. And people say, well, that's a fetish, it's lust. Yeah, at 4 years old, I thought black women were the most amazing women on earth at 4. I wasn't looking at her butt. I wasn't looking at her shape. I could feel the love that black women had. I can feel the love, and I had that bond with my babysitter, with black women in church. And you know a thing? And here's the thing. I was watching a documentary one time, Martin Luther King, and he said the most segregated day was Sunday. Okay? Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that way down south in, the 1960s or whatever, segregated America. Yeah. Because they have black and white churches. But for me in my life, it wasn't that way at all. The biggest connection my family had with black people was at church. The most friends my parents had were black people at church. The biggest connection I had was black people at church. And so, for what Martin Luther King was saying back in the South during the civil rights was the opposite of what I had in New Mexico. And my parents never told me that I was better than any other group or that we're somehow different. In fact, my father told me I wasn't worth a damn until I proved myself. But that's what I got. Okay? My dad pretty much said, son, you suck until you do good. I mean, seriously. I thought that was pretty mean, but hey, it's honest. But you know what? It makes you realize that really you're not so great until you do something great. You got to prove yourself. But this is the thing. And most of the women in my life, and I look back that I dated, were Christian. My babysitter was a Christian. Okay, I remember saying, she was about 17, I was 4 or 5. Okay, big guy, we gotta pray. We're gonna have a snack. That has an impact. Okay? There were black women at church that, as a boy I looked up to. I thought were amazing. And the thing of it is it's not that I just focused on black women. And no, it's just that I see people for people. And who showed me love, I gravitated to. And maybe that's the way it was meant to be. But If you knew my life, my story, you'd understand the love I have for my faith. Okay? You'd understand that. And black women are a big part of that. Okay? My marriage to my wife Sandy, a black woman. You understand the life I live, the women that meant a lot to me are just like my wife Sandy. Traditional woman, a Christian woman. You know, and you'd understand why, to me, the most attractive woman was the black woman of faith, the Christian woman. You know, because that's a woman to me that showed pure love, true love. And it started as a child. It wasn't something I woke up and say, yep, that's my preference now. It wasn't like, oh my God, look at her body, I'm for the black woman. No. And it's crazy. People think it's all physical, sexual. It's so much deeper than the physical. The physical love didn't come till later. And maybe that's why I'm able to swirl to investment and have success. Because the love I have for black women was fulfilled in my heart before I thought about the physical. And it was something that started innocent. And because I wasn't restricted, and nobody told me we're different. Nobody told me one is better than the other. That you can fall in love with a black woman. And if our society was like that, I believe black women would be the most married women on the planet. If we didn't have those biases. If we didn't have that segregated mindset. I'm just saying, that's my opinion. I believe that, though. But anyway, what do you think? I guess I'm just simping here. Simping. Well, my simping got me a 32-year marriage and still going strong. So I guess simping is winning. Man, I simp pretty good. Okay, simped myself into success, into a successful marriage. Do pretty good financially now. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, enough of that. Simps are winning if you're the right kind of simp. Okay? But there's so many definitions. What does it even mean? Okay? Men, just the women you're with, show love and respect and embrace the love she gives you. You'll be better off. We'll be better off as a society. Quit trying to be a pimp and player. That just leads you to the wall. And believe it or not, us men hit the wall a lot faster than women. So stop that BS, trying to be the pretty princess prize. Quit focusing on wigs, weaves, and makeup. Leave the women's department to the women. Focus on the character of the woman. Okay? Does she love you? Okay? You love her. If that's the case, embrace her. Love her. Marry her. Okay? Stop focusing on the little things. Stop focusing on things that really don't matter. I had a show one time I was talking about traditional women, right? And I was talking about interracial marriage and how a lot of black women are traditional. And one guy came on my chat and says, well, I want a traditional woman. That's a woman that don't have a weave or nails or no makeup. I mean, to me, that's stupid. What really a traditional woman is, okay? Here, and maybe that's his definition. You gotta not have a weave and makeup and nails, and To him, that's traditional. To me, you know what a traditional woman is? Okay? Look, society changed, the world's changing. It's not going to be like our grandparents, right? Okay, my grandfather worked, my grandmother stayed home, she never drove, my grandfather did everything, right? That's in the past. It's a different world. But you can still be in a traditional marriage. And what is that? What is a traditional woman? I don't care. Look, my wife can have a weave and throw nails on or that's the women's department. Okay, my wife, either she goes natural or she wears braids. Okay, she hadn't had a weave in years, but if she wants one, she could have it. Okay, my wife does get her nails done. Okay, my daughters come home and visit, and my son comes home. Me and my son will go fishing, hiking, go do something. My wife and daughters, they go shopping, get their hair done, nails done, whatever. That's the women's department. But I tell you, my wife is very traditional. One of the most traditional women ever. And you know what that is? A traditional woman is a woman that loves you, takes her marriage vows seriously. A woman that's faithful to you. A woman that puts you first. Puts the family first. Okay? A woman that's going to spend the rest of her life with you. That's a traditional woman. Now, if she wants to have a couple weaves and some nails along the way, God bless her, she could have it. And I'll pay for it. Okay? We lose our way when we look at superficial crap. Okay? And I'm a traditional man. I take my marriage vows seriously. I'm loyal to my wife and my wife alone. When I took my marriage vows, I forsake everyone. My wife forsakes everyone. That means, and that don't mean we're mean to people. That just means we come first. We come together as one. That's tradition. Okay? This stuff of nails and weaves and I listen to that stupid shit and I'm like, what? Black women are beautiful whether they have a weave or not, or braids. I love braids. But when I was seeking to date black women, I wasn't thinking, oh my God, does she have a weave? Did she do her nails? Oh my God, what about her makeup? Ah! No, I just seen black women, how beautiful and amazing they are. The black women, the character they have, the love they have, the nurturing, the big heart black women have. That's what I was after. Anyway, okay, let me stop. But seriously, we don't see value in women as men in today's world because our egos are way the hell up here. Okay, we're looking at superficial things, and we talk about traditional women. We don't need know what traditional is. We think it just, she can't wear makeup and nails, and she's traditional now. What is traditional? It's really subjective, right? In a sense, traditional is, to me, a marriage. That's traditional. Taking your marriage vows seriously. You made a promise to each other and a promise to God, and you live up to your obligation to your marriage vows, right? And you love each other for forever. You get married and it's forever. You grow old together. You start out young, and before you know it, you got kids, grandkids, great grandkids. And before you know it, you're both old. But that's the beauty in life, that you spend it together. That's tradition. That's a traditional marriage. That's a traditional man and woman. Now, it's not the same as 1845, right? Or 1963. You know, women are driving too. Women got careers too. You know what? Okay, that's great. But you can still have a traditional marriage, a traditional family. technology's kind of just making things easier and we're doing more things. It's okay. Okay, guys. I'll drop the link if anyone wants to come up. If you don't, that's fine too. I got one last video to show you guys. Okay? And this is a cute video. This video is uplifting. Okay? And after I show this video and talk a little bit about it, I'm going to talk about a little bit about my life story and why I feel the way I do about certain things and why I go the extra mile for my children in certain areas. It's all about self-correction. Self-correction. Every man should know about self-correction. Every woman, too. Self-correction. That's how you get better. You got to be humbled. Okay? You got to understand you're not as great as you think you are a lot of times, right? I like to believe I'm something wonderful, but I'm just an everyday guy. When I really look at myself, okay. And that's okay. But I can be better, right? Okay. Anyway, enough of that said. I'm going to show you a video of a young child. Okay? I think she's in the 4th grade and doing amazing things. Okay? And I love seeing young children that are highly educated. You know, that's a beautiful thing. Because a lot of our children across the nation, education is lacking. Okay? And when we become adults, our education is lacking. Most of us can't read at the 12th grade level. Let's be honest. Okay? When I got in the Army, it was pretty humbling where my grade reading level was. And I had to improve. I had to do better. Okay? And I'm not alone. My situation is very common. Okay? Especially if you went to public schools. And now there are some public schools that are great. Don't get me wrong. But there are a lot that aren't so good. I'm going to just say it. Okay? And with my family, my children, I took education seriously. My children will never go through what I went through. That was my mindset. And my wife's all about education. So, you know where my kids went, right? All right, let me show you this. This is like very rare, okay? This is something that don't happen with most children. But sometimes you see children doing amazing things, okay? You see children excelling above other children and even adults, okay? Let me show you this news report. And I saw this, and this is pretty uplifting.
Can we just take a moment to...
Okay. This is in Los Angeles, I think, San Bernardino County, okay? I was just going through YouTube one night, and I found this. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Can we just take a moment to process this, Sam and John? I don't even think that when I was taking my college courses that I could at the time, you know, when we were of age, those were really hard to take. But for this 4th grader, I mean, oh my goodness, we are so proud of little Miss Honey. She's doing an amazing job. And according to school officials, she could be the first of others to follow in her footsteps.
She is very, very, very brilliant. She is dedicated. She is passionate. She loves learning.
We're learning how to construct decimals into fractions.
It's what's typical of a 4th grader like Honey Cooper, learning fractions, science, and Honey's favorite.
I really do like to read.
Okay, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book is Augie and Me.
But what's not typical of this 4th grader is that she's duly enrolled at Kimbark Elementary School and in a college course at San Bernardino Valley College.
Oh my God, 4th grade, listen to that. And enrolled in a college course at San Bernardino High? Like what? Most people don't ever get enrolled in college, but she's doing it in the 4th grade. Think about that.
It's very different because in my fourth grade class, there's like a lot of people, like 33 people, and in the art class, there's only like 12 people.
Even though she's in the fourth grade, Honey's about at a seventh grade math level with reading. She's probably at a high 12th grade.
Mom Mia Cooper says Honey didn't babble or talk much as a baby, but by 18 months, things started to change. Honey, the youngest of 5, eventually taught herself how to read. After noticing Honey's gift, Assistant Superintendent of Student Services Sandra Rodriguez intervened. She had previously seen a young homeschool student taking a college course.
I'm like, you know what? We can have public school kids go to San Bernardino Valley College. So I asked Mia what she thought about that and if she thought that Honey might be interested.
And she was. Honey started taking a college art class this month. I asked her how she manages.
It really is a lot, but if you can really just balance and if you really balance it, and it could go really smoothly well.
As for what she dreams of becoming when she grows up,
I either want to be a surgeon, an artist, or a fashion designer.
One of the beautiful things that I think that this entire story really demonstrates is that when you raise the bar for students, they will reach it, and they will even blow your mind and exceed it.
All right, Sam and John, so there's one thing that Honey's mom tells me she has a little trouble with. Maybe you can guess.
Oh, gosh.
Any options, any guesses?
Well, she reads books, like physical books, so I don't know if it's screen time.
She does.
Social media.
It's keeping her room clean.
Amazing.
Her room clean.
Yeah.
Well, she has a flaw.
You know, kids will be kids.
There you go. But she's great nonetheless. We love you, Miss Honey.
And adorable, and we are rooting for her. That is an awesome story, Shelby. Thank you.
Okay. What do you think about that? Fourth grade, a girl in the fourth grade taking a college course, reading at a 12th grade reading level. I think she said her math was in the 7th grade, so she's very advanced. Okay, and if she does that good in school, heck, hire a maid to clean her room. Because oh my God, you don't see that every day. The thing of it is in this story, guys, it really got to my heart. I was like, wow, that is a beautiful thing. Now, the public schools, maybe we can have public schools doing what she did. A lot of that was homeschooling. And the young girl taught herself how to read. Pretty amazing. And then that little girl talks like she's an adult. I mean, it's amazing. And here's the thing. With me, I'm going to tell you something. In my life, education is important. Okay? And I know some people aren't meant to go to college. Some people learn a trade, make a living that way. That's okay too. I'm not saying everybody needs to get college, but everybody needs to do something. And with my life, I had to go back and relearn stuff I should have learned in high school. Okay? Like I said, I paid for tutors for myself to get my reading level up, where I can have opportunity in the Army. Okay? And those of you that been in the military, you take the ASVAB, and they take your score and place you the military where where they need you pretty much. And if you score real high, you get all these job opportunities. What do you want to do in your career? Me, it wasn't that. Look, you're going to be infantry or a mechanic. There you go. And the reason they gave me a choice of being a mechanic, because I had some shade tree mechanical skills working on cars with my dad. I understood how the internal combustion engine works, how to work on cars. I knew the difference between gasoline and diesel engines. I understood the basics, and that was a positive of my school, but my score was very low. Okay, my wife Sandy helped me study to get in the Army, if you could believe that. Okay, but I worked on my reading. I worked on that, and I took that test again, and a few years later, got my education level up, my reading level up, and I took the test, and when I went to get the results, I was like, well, I felt pretty good. It seemed easier than last time. How did I do? And I remember my platoon sergeant was like, well, it's good and bad. I'm like, oh my God, what? I said, was my score low? He said, no. You got a really good score? But he said it was too good. And if you know about taking that test, if you have a low score and it goes and you do extremely well, I guess it's like a red flag. So it don't count. You got to take it again to make sure that's your level, which was depressing because I worked so hard. So I had to take it again. And actually is a little better than the one I had to take. So it opened up my opportunities. And I was able to get the job I wanted. And it opened up so much and it made me feel good about myself. But it was embarrassing. It was disgusting, my education level. And yeah, the schools I went to sucked. No, but it was my fault too because I was lazy. And I realized how important it was, the education. And from going through all that, I said, if I have kids, they will never go through what I went through. They will never go through the humiliation. They will never have to go back and correct what they didn't get right the first time. And that was humbling. And my wife helped me get through that. And I tell you, through the years, when it came to education, I never missed a parent-teacher conference. I never look, and I paid attention how well those schools did. And there were times when I scraped to make sure our kids went to a good school, a private school, a charter school. That was important. I was not going to allow that to happen to my kids. I was not. And I tell you, one of my biggest weaknesses, black women helped me get out of. And I tell you today, all three of my kids are college educated. My oldest daughter's got a master's, going for her the next level, going to her doctorate. Okay, she hasn't reached 30 yet. She's a psychologist. My son's in the Army doing great things. My youngest daughter's going into nursing, doing well. But I tell you, the biggest blessing is my children never went through what I did. And that's the biggest blessing you have, is if your children do better than you, God has blessed you. God has blessed you. And I don't take that for granted. And what led to that? there are three things that help me. And I say this. My father, keeping me humble, being hard on me. My wife, loving me with all her heart. And making my goals her goals. Putting me first. And then the United States Army giving me the opportunity that I've had. Those three things. And I tell you, and I didn't do nothing great. I just fixed my, where I was lacking. But I did choose right. And I tell you, every time I talk about this, look, black women are truly the best option. You can't argue with me no other way. And I tell you, my wife Sandy is everything to me. Having her in my life has improved my life. Led to my children's, their education, and them being successful. But you know what? Maybe it's because I didn't take her love for granted. Maybe because I embraced it. Maybe because I cleaned to Sandy and told and didn't let her go. Because I knew I had a blessing. I knew. And one thing about me, when it comes to my faith, when it comes to my Christianity, I'm lacking in my Christian faith. I'll be honest. But one thing I do well is that verse where it says, you have not because you ask not. Well, I know how to ask, and I'm pretty good at it. I know how to pray, and I know how to ask God to bless me. That's one thing I got right. Now we just got to work on the rest. I tell you, my wife, because of her, I went from here to here. And I tell you, don't be afraid to open up your options. Don't be afraid to go where you're loved and celebrated. Because I tell you, there's nobody in my family that is blessed like I am when it comes to marriage. You know, my brother is, but black women are the most amazing, beautiful women on the planet. They are the best option. And through my life, I wouldn't go out and say that because I didn't want to hurt feelings or create controversy. But today, I don't even care. I don't care what people think. And because I speak the truth in how I feel, I know there's people that hate me for it. I don't care. I'm just telling you the truth. But it's not out of hate. I wasn't attracted to black women out of hate. I wasn't attracted to them because Becky didn't want me. It wasn't that. I was attracted to black women because of the love they have. Because of the beauty I could see as a child. And because my parents never told me it's wrong. So, there you have it. But anyway, guys, I just want to share that with you. And look, if you're a man that loves a woman and you pour love into her, you have an emotional connection, you buy her gifts every now and then, and she loves you, hey, nothing wrong with that. Okay, but I would suggest don't be giving a woman, giving her all your love when she isn't into you. Okay, dating is to see if it's a good fit. And a lot of times, after the first 2 dates, you know whether she's into you or not. You can feel it. And if you get rejected, move on. Don't waste time with someone that ain't into you. Okay, you're not going to change their mind no matter how much you give them, no matter how much love you pour into them. If they're not into you, they're not into you. Move on. Okay? Do that. And if she's into you and she's showing you love, and you love her, embrace it. And don't take that love for granted. Embrace it. Be thankful for it. Okay? Anyway, sorry guys, I didn't really look into the chat. It's good to see you, Beverly, Chris. Good to see you, Nikki. Sweet Rose, good to see you, young lady. Cece. Jennifer, good to see you too. KP. Good to see you ladies and Chris. Okay, hope you guys are having a good Saturday night. Look, this is a topic I want to talk about. Okay? And look, I'm not going to... The title says Simps are winning. Really, it's good men that are winning. Men that are showing women love and respect. Those are the men that are winning. Okay, those are the men that'll find a good wife, have a good family. Those are the men that'll build a legacy, a family. Those are the men that will see their kids grow up, their grandkids, their great-grandkids. Okay? And I'm telling you, family is everything. It really is. Embrace the one you're with. Embrace your wife, your husband. If you found true love, you found a blessing. You're blessed. The Bible says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing and has favor from God. That is true. Okay? And if God gives you a wife, love her, protect her, provide for her. Protect the blessing you have. And ladies, have your standards. It's okay to want a man that works hard, that is successful. It's okay to want to have a man that makes a decent living. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? You want a good provider. Okay, but don't make it to where money's your main focus. Like that woman said, if you can't empty out your wallet and worship me, that's just stupid. Okay, a good man will provide. Okay, people should not worship people. Ladies, don't worship men. They're just people. They're flawed. Of any race. Okay? And guys, love the women. Treat them right. Okay? You don't worship them. They're people. I don't know this worship thing. Worship God. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this. My whole thing tonight is men, be real men. Treat women right. Okay, being a jerk to women ain't tough. Okay? And if you're showing a woman love and respect, and somebody calls you a simp, they're just stupid. They don't understand what it means to be a man. A lot of men that don't have success in dating and, struggle, a lot of them, as a defense, will call other men simps because they have that emotional connection with the women they're with. A lot of them will lash out at men that got what they want. a woman that loves them, a relationship, a healthy relationship, healthy marriage, they'll call that man a simp. People call me a simp because I show love towards my wife. And I show love towards black women. Why wouldn't I? Black women have been a blessing. You know? Nothing wrong with that. I'm just kind of reciprocating love that I've received. And I see the beauty in women. I see women that are doing amazing things. A lot of them are black women doing it. Look, I can't. I'm amazed how much my wife has done, how successful she is, and how amazing of a marriage I have. And I'm like, wow. And growing up, a lot of these women are just like my wife. You know, they say that a lot of men, they will find a woman like their mother, right? No, that don't always happen. Sometimes men will find a woman they bond with as a child. My situation, I bonded with a black woman when I was like 4 and 5. There were other black women in my life I thought were amazing. I could feel the love, see the beauty, and when I grew up, who was I looking for? Think about it. That's just psychological. You know, there have been men that, you know, some men that were taken care of by black women, and they grow up looking for that black woman. I mean, not that one, but one that's like that. Kind of like the motherly figure. Things happen. And it don't have to be a woman that takes care of you. It could be my situation, like a babysitter. Or maybe you have a connection as a child, a black woman at church that's nice to you. I'm just saying, things happen. And it's okay. If we find true love and build families, that's what it's all about. To me, I think America, what we need more than anything is more families. Okay? And I know some people are modern, they don't want to get married, they want to have fun and do this. Me, I think we need to go back to the family. A man, a woman, and children. Us as men, we need to value women better. We need to treat women better. And when we do that, you know, we become better men. And we get a better result. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. And, you know, I want to be a blessing. I want people to see my story because it's pretty amazing. And I wish YouTube, I know YouTube's YouTube, but I wish YouTube was more real. I wish people on YouTube were more honest. And some of the things, you know, I told you about me have hurt me. But then again, I've gained respect because I'm being honest. You know? And you know, I've loved black women forever. And people have hated me because I dated black women. People, believe it or not, hated me because I married a black woman. But it ain't going to change who I love and where I'm going to go. But that's the real me. I don't change for nobody. You know, I've told people I'm a Christian. I told people I'm conservative. And you know, looking at politics, I know a lot of black women, you know, have different opinions on politics than me. And I'm sorry, but that's who I am. But that don't take away the love I have for black women by no means. But out of respect, I got to be honest to you. I owe you that. I mean, I don't have to do that. I could come and do YouTube and tell everybody what they want to hear and pretend that I'm something I'm not. But I'd rather have a few people love me for who I am than a mass of people loving me for who they think I am. That means more to me. You know? And like I said, I don't expect nobody to believe like I do. You know, I love you whether you agree with me or not. You know? And that's the beauty of it, where you can love somebody that's totally different, that thinks different. That to me is true love. But anyways, enough of that. Okay. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. I love you guys. And I'll be going live every Saturday. There's some things I'm thinking of doing. I'm way behind. Look, there's stuff I want to do. There's material I have. You know, I just get busy during the week, and Saturday's the only real day I got to really do anything. Believe me, I'd love to do this every day, but I can't. You know, and I know I put some postings, and I need to do that Running Man review here and now. And I want to do it, and I'm going to do it, but I don't know when. I'm sorry. I sometimes get ahead of myself, and there's other things I want to talk about. And, you know, I try to make it to where stuff you want to hear that you want me to talk about. You know. But anyway, I thought this was a good topic to talk about, because I hear that simp thrown around. I hear people, you're just a simp, Roadrunner, you're simping. What is that? Am I? I mean, I show love to my wife. I show love to black women, but why wouldn't I do that? Black women are a big part of my life. So of course I'm going to show love. You know? My we've been together for 32 years. Well, we'll almost be married in 32 years. Maybe we'll hit 32 years of marriage. So I love my wife. I'm going to express that love. And the reason I talk about it so much is I want people to know that you can open up your options. You can find true love. Okay? And my message is to, you know, white men, non-black men, that there are black women that will love you and, you know, be a good wife. And I want to talk about that. And I want to encourage black women, open up your options. You don't have to just settle for men in your community. There are men all over the place. You know? And, you know, that's a message I want to put. A lot of times we don't do that interracial relationship. It's not that we can't. A lot of times we're just too afraid. And people will psych themselves out so much. You know, both men and women, that they're so afraid of rejection that they won't get out of their comfort zone. That they won't open up their options because they think that other group will reject them. Look, when I finally got the courage to open up my options, I found out, you know what, I could date interracially. I found out there are black women that will date white men. There are some black women that only want to date white men. I was like, man, this is awesome. Who would have known? But you got to get out of that comfort zone. You know, it's amazing that black women that grew up in the white community have no problem dating interracially. It ain't even a thing to them. They just do it. But people that live in a predominantly only black community or only white community, they struggle with that. And I guess it's because they don't get to know each other. They just depend on stereotypes, generalizations, and think, oh, well, you know, this is what I heard. And well, get out and find out for yourself. You know? And what's it, you know, there, and think about it. There are good and bad people in all groups. And if you don't worship a skin tone, well, what's it matter? As long as you find true love, right? Anyway, okay, let me stop. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and close. Thank you for being part of this show. We've been on for 2 hours and 22 minutes. It's unbelievable how I could talk that much. But I hope you guys have a good Saturday. Okay? And I thank you for the comments. I thank you for watching tonight's show. Okay? And my message is men, don't be afraid to love the women you're with. Okay? Yeah, make sure the love is reciprocated. Don't just pour into someone that don't care about you. Women too. Women do that too. Okay? Make sure you find the man that loves you. Have your standards. Don't just vet. You got to have standards too. When you vet, people can lie to you. They could make you believe there's something they're not. But when you have standards, that's really what weeds out the dust, if you know what I'm saying. Dust comes in all colors, right? I'm just saying. Standards, ladies. And men too. You know, have your standards too. Okay? But anyway, my advice is don't be afraid to open up your options. Go where you're loved and celebrated. Okay? And everybody has a preference. Okay? Don't think because a white man just loves black women that something's wrong with him. No, it's not. Some people are attracted to certain people for different reasons. It's not all physical. My attraction to black women ain't just the physical part. It's the emotional connection. It's the spirituality. Okay? It's the love black women have. And I've had that love as a child. Right? Sometimes you're attracted to a certain... You can't help it. It's not like turn on a switch. Oh, who am I attracted to today? Some people can do that. Some cannot. And it's okay. It's just who you connect with. Who your heart belongs to. Okay? And that affects your life. How you grew up. Who really impacted your life. Sometimes it's not the same race, guys. And it's okay. And if it is the same racial group, that's okay too. As long as you find true love. That's what it's all about. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I'm going to say a prayer real quick. If you guys don't mind. Let me go ahead and pray. Lord, thank you so much for tonight's show. Thank you so much for everybody that participated in tonight's show. Everybody in the Roadrunner family, Lord. I pray you bless them and their family, Lord. And I pray that you give people the courage to not be afraid to step out of the comfort zone. Open up their options. Get to know different people, Lord. And I pray that you will uplift us as men to be good men and to treat women with love and respect, Lord. And I pray you give us the courage to love other people that don't look like us. And Lord, I pray when you give us the courage to open up our options, that you give us the courage to not be ashamed of who we're with. Okay, I see so many interracial couples, Lord, and I pray that you would pull that shame out of them and let them know it's okay to love each other. That you can love somebody that's different, Lord. And I pray you just give us the courage to do that, Lord. And I pray, Lord, please bless this channel. Bless everybody here tonight, Lord. Please bless our nation, Lord. I pray this Iran war ends soon. I pray it goes good, that the Iranian people can take over their government and live peaceful, Lord. I know war is horrible, Lord, and I pray that you bring a quick, peaceful solution, Lord. And I know it's something that may seem impossible, but Lord, you can make it happen. And Lord, I pray you bless this nation, everybody in it, Lord. And I pray that us as Americans, you put it in our heart to love each other better, Lord. That we're not divided by race or ideology, Lord. That we can look different and think different and still love each other. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being a part of this show tonight. I thank you for watching. Okay? And all right, I'll see you guys next Saturday. I would just ask you pray for me, pray for this channel. Pray that God would give me time to do more of this. I'm kind of overwhelmed at work and stuff, and I want to do this. This is where my passion is. And I know it's kind of lacking because I'm not able to pour into it as much as I used to. But I pray that I get more time. Pray for that, guys. I want to do this. I love doing this. I love talking to you guys. I love sharing my story. I just want people to know the truth. And I want you to know that what I talk about is my real life. Sandy is real. I'm real. We've been married 32 years. Not everybody you see on YouTube that talks about swirling is actually swirling. Okay? There's fakes out there. Okay? And for me, if I'm going to follow a channel that I agree with, I want them to be genuine. I want to know who they are. I mean, I don't need to know their life story, but how they believe. That we deserve that much respect. That if you're down with the swirl, that's your channel. I want you to be that if I follow you. And I know, ladies, if you're into divestment, you go to a divestment channel, you want the ladies there to be divested, right? You don't want no fakers out there. I don't want a white guy out there talking about how beautiful black women are that have never dated a black woman. I don't want that. I don't... Look. If I'm following these channels that talk about interracial dating and marriage, I want that. That is my life. So I gravitate towards that. I don't want a faker Jack telling me how to date black women when he's never done it. Does that make sense? Just like I don't want to listen to a financial advisor that is going through bankruptcy. It makes no sense. Anyway. But guys, you have a good night. God bless you and your families. I'm going to try to do this show earlier. I know I go late, but that's the best I can do right now. But anyway, guys, I'll see you this week. I'll try to put some videos out. I got some videos I want to talk about. I need to go through my channel. I want to put some more shorts and do more stuff. But if there's anything you want me to talk about, you let me know what you want me to talk about. Okay? What do you want to hear? What do you want me to research? Okay? Anyway, guys, have a good night. God bless you and your families. Okay? And I'll see you next Sunday. All right? I might do something early this week. We'll see. But anyway, guys, you have a good night. God bless you and your families. I'll see you soon.